Hello, everyone. Welcome to Investing with Data, a channel dedicated to using data for better investment decisions. My name is Sony, and today I'm going to talk about diversification. Diversification is a very good concept. It's a highly recommended thing that your portfolio should not be based on one or two stocks, right? You should have a diversified portfolio, which is spread across sectors and industries and companies, right? But how much diversification is good? I see people adding as many stocks they can to their portfolio, but is that really good? What does the data say? What does simulation say? So in this study, we're going to do is run simulations across many stocks across multiple years to see, is there a scientific way to establish how much should be a portfolio size from a diversification perspective. Okay, so let's begin. So let me walk you through this setup. So in this setup, we're going to select 30 random stocks from the Nifty 100 list, and we'll start this trade on Jan 1st, 2015. So that year, we select 30 stocks and we stake in the position for exactly a year and then we exit. And we're going to do this simulation for every year till 22, where we'll set a new set of random stocks in every year and take positions and keep for a year. At the end, what we'll do is we will compute the average return across all these years, and we'll also track the cumulative ROI as we keep on adding more stocks. So the idea is, if I have one stock today, and if I add one more to after that, and if I keep on adding more stocks to my portfolio, how is my ROI curve changing as I add more, right? So we're tracking this across all these simulations to see how does it impact. Okay, so that's the simulation setup. Let's move on to the code. We have already seen some simulation code in our previous video, so I will skip through some part of this. This code is written in Python and it uses the Fires API. I'll put up a link in the description if you want access to the same APIs. Let me move to the part which is of interest. Okay, so these are the Nifty 100 stocks as of today, and this is the function which does the simulation. So let me explain in very layman terms so that you can understand. We are randomizing the list. So the list that we saw here, we're going to randomize this list. So in any random order, we're going to pick stocks on the 1st Jan and we'll exit on the 30th of December. So we take a position and we compute its cumulative ROI. And we do that in a loop so that we do it for all the 30 stocks. So we say we will do it only for 30 stocks. Okay, so that's one simulation. So at the end of this, it will write the simulation into a CSV file into the simulation folder. By the way, all of this code is already on GitHub, so you can see this code and also the simulations files. You can go through them, right? You can see the output, right? Which stock, which year, what it is doing, all of that, right? Now this is one simulation, but one simulation is not good enough, so we are going to run 20 simulations. So we're running 20 simulations to understand how would this, when we randomize this order and we take positions up to 30 stocks, how is the ROI changing? Okay, once you have done this, you will have a bunch of CSV files. And let me, in this part, I'm just picking one CSV file and let me see the plot. So this is a plot of the cumulative ROI. The It's basically the interest rate of return that you're getting on the investments as a portfolio for every year, right? Based on the simulation that we did, right? And while this is showing for all the years, if we average them together, you get something like this, which is the mean cumulative ROI by symbol. So now what are you? So I'm going to deep dive on this plots now, but I just wanted to show you the what we're trying to do. So let me recap. What we're doing is, for each year, select 30 random stocks and take positions in them at the start of the year and exit at the end of the year. Okay, and you, as you keep on adding stocks into your so we said on the first we add up to 30 stocks in some random order. As we add more, the ROI is also changing, so we want to study this pattern. So in the next part, I'm going to spend time on this chart to understand what is that is trying to convey to us. Let's go through the charts I was talking about. Now, this part of the video is the most important part, so let's pay attention to this. So this is one simulation, so a specific simulation data. In the simulation, what you can see is as you are adding more stocks to your portfolio, the return that you're getting. So, what is this line? These are the percentage return that you're getting from your portfolio. Okay. And as you can see, this part is a little volatile, but as the number of stocks are increasing, as you're making it more diversified across all these years, you have a very balanced return that is coming, right? Now, this is what is important. This is basically validating the fact that diversification is good. Okay. Because diversification is kind of removing unnecessary clutter from your charts, and it is making more streamlined, balanced, right? Balanced curves. And this is happening across all these years, not just one specific year. Across all these years, this balance is kind of looking. So if you average them together, we get this chart. This is basically the mean chart of this. So that's what you see. As you have, as you start increasing diversification, you see a very steady uh, chart. But one more important thing is, beyond this point, your return that you're getting from your portfolio is not changing too much. Okay, that's also something very interesting. This is for one simulation, right, where we took one set of stocks and we traded that. What so we did, as I told you, in our simulation we did 20 simulations, and this chart, which is the main cumulative ROI, we have done that across all those simulations and aggregated them. So let me go through the aggregated. This is the aggregated chart. Okay. This is across all the simulations and we have added them. So what is the finding from this? The finding from this is, if you look at this region, right? This region is the region where you are under diversified. Okay. Which means that your portfolio has exposure to a small number of stocks and it's too much dependent on their performance, which means your PNL, portfolio PNL, is going to be volatile, right? As you can see the charts, how volatile the curve is. However, if you see somewhere here around 15, right? If you see beyond this number, in fact, beyond this number itself, we are seeing that diversification is not helping us. Okay. And that's because as you're adding more and more stocks to your portfolio, your net percentage return is not increasing. So, for example, at 15%, we were making an 18% return, annual return, whereas as we keep on adding, our return is averaging lower, right? So, this downward trend is important. Okay. What is it telling to us? It is telling that while a little bit of diversification was useful, over diversification is not helping your portfolio grow, right? And that's very important because we might keep on thinking that we should add as many number of stocks that we want, but actually it may not be really helpful. In fact, it is difficult for a retail user to keep track of every stock that they have bought and keep decisions on whether they want to continue. So the lesser number of stocks that you have in your portfolio, that's better, right? Now that's the key insight, right? 10 to 15 is the range where diversification is working. Beyond that, it doesn't work. So let me wrap up this discussion with the key insights in the next part. So, welcome to the last part of the video. Hope you have been through this and tried to understand what was there in the simulation. So, what are the key takeaways from the simulation? The number one key takeaway is diversification is indeed good. Yes, it is good. If you have only a handful number of stocks, less than five actually, in your portfolio is going to experience a high volatility in its PNL. Okay, it's not a very good thing to be in as an investor. It's not a very healthy thing to be in. So diversification is a good thing. That's the first key takeaway. The second finding is, while diversification is good, can you keep on adding more stocks to your portfolio? Of course you can, but does it really help? No, it doesn't. The return of your portfolio, as you keep on increasing more and more, doesn't really impact you. I mean, the more stocks that you add doesn't really add more probability of your making high returns. That's the key insight, and that's very important to note that diversification is good, but over diversification is not good. In fact, it's bad for you because spending more time and energy on keeping track of more numbers of stocks, which is not going to give you additional returns. So it's actually good to keep a focused list and be focused on that part of the sum. So the third key takeaway and the key insight is the ideal number of stocks you know for your portfolio is somewhere around 10. Okay, you should not have more than 10 stocks in your portfolio, based on the kind of simulation that we talk about. Of course, we're talking about the large companies. For mid cap and small cap, there's a different way to deal with that. But for the large cap companies, if you look at the stocks on the Nifty 100 list, having more than 10 stocks is not a good idea. Okay, so I hope some interesting insight has come. If you have something that you want me to simulate and study, so I know we're using data and come with insights. Let me know in the comments and hit subscribe if you think this is going to be helpful for you. So bye bye. Take care.